What's the best piece of advice you've ever received? It does not have to be business related, but best piece of advice you've ever received.
You know, the one that I use a lot is never sit down and put your socks on.
Right.
You do you.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in for this week's episode of the Buffalo Community Podcast. This week is episode 15. Can't believe that's already been 15 episodes so far. So thank you for everybody who has been listening, watching, and sharing. Before we get started, I did want to make an announcement for the Adopt a Buffalo High School Senior 2020 campaign. You can go in the description of this video, go right to their Facebook page and look into adopting a high school senior for Buffalo High School this year. A lot of cool things that people are doing for those students because you know what? Their world is kind of turned upside down with, as is everybody's, but going to do a little bit of campaigning for them as well. So check for the link in the show description or this attached to this video. And then again, we've got some more equipment on loan from the Crow's Feet Still, local rock and roll band with police detective Barrett Christus. We hope to see them back in concerts in the park sooner rather than later when it is safe to do so. But as usual, we're going to get our intro and then we're going to get right on to our episode. We used to really rehearse that a lot.
Yeah.
I think our first episode was
This is the Buffalo Community Podcast, all about the greatest small town in the USA, the people in it, and how it all works together. Here are your hosts, Tyler Reese and Mark Benzer.
All right.
Nice fade there.
It's a great intro.
Yeah.
Nice work, guys.
Thanks.
No problem. That wraps it up. That joke's never going to get old.
No.
Mark, why don't you introduce our guest
Sure.
here?
With us today we have local chiropractor, longtime Buffalo resident. You've probably come across and are familiar with the Kuzma name, but 1999 Buffalo High School graduate, Tom Kuzma. Thanks for coming in, Tom.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So why don't you just kind of, let's go back to 1999 and bring us current through today in the next 30 seconds to a minute and just kind of tell everybody a little bit of your story.
In a nutshell, all right.
Yes.
Well, 1999 graduating class was probably the best of
I
all
would
time.
agree.
No
I would
offense,
agree.
Tyler,
Yeah.
but we had good company.
It's an actual fact, actually.
But after Buffalo High School, went on to St. John's University and got the undergraduate degree there, and kind of had three minors basically: liberal studies, but biology, management, and psychology. So thought that would be a good segue into the chiropractic field, which was determined about sophomore year, I suppose.
Okay.
Really didn't have much experience in chiropractic at all. Growing up, my mom was a nurse practitioner, dad being a dentist. Never really went to the doctor very often. My mom brought home the vaccinations and brought home any medicine that we ever needed growing up, and I never really had a whole lot of injuries until I was in college. I was skateboarding like a dude that I am, and totally wiped out and tweaked my rib. I'm like, yes, I get to go see what chiropractors do.
Yeah.
Before I become one.
Sure.
So anyhow, went on to Northwestern Health Sciences after St. John's, got through school, went to Hutchinson, had about a 9-month to a year program working for somebody else down there, and then set up Kuzma Chiropractic, which now is Buffalo Chiropractic. So several things happened in between there, but that's in a nutshell.
Yeah. Cool. So between Kuzma and now Buffalo Chiropractic, you've had your practice here in Buffalo since
2008.
2008.
So
I
January.
believe that's 12 years if you're counting, Mark.
Cool. Yeah.
January.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll
Yep.
double check that, but
Fact checker.
yeah.
But yeah, it's been a good ride. It's been 12 years. So 3 years ago, I think it was 2000, actually 4 years ago now, I bought Dr. Rita Varner-Ontis's practice at Buffalo Chiropractic Clinic, and ended up running both offices for a little while there, which was a little bit much, I think, to have two offices, 5 miles apart in the same town. So
Sure.
we ended up consolidating once leases ran out and such, and now we're all downtown and one big happy family down there.
Awesome.
It's kind of a nice transition. What I wrote down here is because, your name was on it, Kuzma Chiropractic. Was it difficult changing it to Buffalo Chiropractic, or was it just, this is established or whatever? Bring me through that evolution a little bit.
That's a good question. It was I don't know, about one day I was like, I kind of like Kuzma Chiropractic, but then at the same time, I'd like to hire other people too. I don't want it to be all about me. And Buffalo Chiropractic, having Google kind of being in charge of search engine things, Buffalo Chiropractic is just a much better name, really, as far as the search engines go. So it was a no-brainer, really, when it comes to that. And it's a solid name. And Dr. Rita did a fantastic job for thousands of people for many years. And prior to that, Dr. Dave Doty, too. So it's got good legacy within the building there. So it's a fun place to work and be, and we enjoy it.
That's good. And you're saying downtown. So where can people find you?
People are familiar with BJ's Deli. We're basically right behind BJ's Deli, right next to the monstrosity going up there. But the big apartments.
Which one is that?
There's that large 4-story building right downtown.
Yeah.
So we're right there, 110 Division Street East. We always say it like across from the old Napa, but Napa's not there anymore. Nortog Meats used to be there. So.
You really got to be a townie to get all those references.
Yeah.
Across from the old pet shop.
Yeah.
It hasn't been there for 20
Right.
years.
Yeah.
Critter Country. Fantastic place.
Well, I think as you alluded to, that spot has always been a chiropractor. So just as far as a rock solid presence in that area, if people don't know, I think most of them do, but I think people will find you.
Although the older generation, older than us that is, would tell us that it would be the ice cream shop, and also my gal Sal's, I think, prior to that. So
really?
It was a bar / ice cream shop, and I think a medical facility even before that, like long.
I was kind of hoping you were going to say bar, medical facility, ice cream shop.
Yeah, all together.
All together. One-stop shop.
Hey, my tooth hurts. Let's pull it out and give you some ice cream.
I think Barbara Lee's dance studio is upstairs, too. There's still some really cool old hardwood floors, and even the ballet bars there. So,
super cool. I think everybody has a chiropractic is one of those classic things, I think, where there's what people think you do and then there's what you actually do. Would you agree or would you disagree? I mean, there's
there's a lot of different types of chiropractors out there. There's a lot of different ways to practice chiropractic, and no one's to say one's right, one's wrong. But I'm assuming you'd like to know what my particular style is.
Obviously, I think a lot of people just go, oh, I got a sore back, I'm going to go see a chiropractor. But as far as getting beyond that and looking at who do you love to help, who's your ideal client, and what else can you...
Keep going, guys. I'm not walking out in protest.
All right.
AC out here.
My favorite patient is somebody that comes in basically crooked. That they are hurting. We get that SI joint of the low back to adjust beautifully, and they're standing up and walking out normal. So I really do like working with people with pain, people with headaches. I mean, the average person suffers with headaches for about 9 years before they actually go and see somebody.
Wow.
And headaches, does resolve very well for the most part. A lot of times it's more than just an adjustment. It's going to be talking some nutrition, talking some daily lifestyle type habits that people need to alter some. But
sure.
Yeah, my favorite people are the people that really haven't had any chiropractic experience that are having a heck of a backache, because that definitely responds great. And after that, then you can educate on all sorts of different types of lifestyle things that can be improved. So,
got it. Speaking of lifestyle and developing healthy habits, we're in a crazy time. Are you familiar with COVID-19 virus?
I've heard a little bit about that.
So
also known as coronavirus.
Yeah, right. So practical advice, you're going to hear a lot of things from pharmaceuticals to whatever
Keyboard warriors.
Yeah. What can we do with short of taking a pharmaceutical or anything like that? What can we do to hopefully prevent, and if we do get it, ensure that we're recovering as efficiently and getting back to normal as fast as possible?
Sure. There's a fair amount you can do. This is obviously not something that's going to be going away anytime soon. So, number one most important thing to do is, if you're in a big group of people like a Menards or a Walmart, probably wearing that mask is going to be a good idea. You're going to help prevent spreading it and also receiving it. washing your hands frequently, all the things that the CDC's been preaching over and over again. There is something to all that. So I would definitely recommend doing that stuff first. But there's a lot of other things you can do too. You can boost your immune system. We actually have been giving our patients a list of 7 things that they can do to help boost their immune system. These are all scientifically proven to help prevent illness and disease and help you fend them off better too by the immunity. Basically with this, as far as I've seen, I think it's a lot of, more of the sick people and people with a really strong immune system haven't been as susceptible to that. So the best thing I think that we can tell our patients is to do whatever they can to boost their immune system.
Do you want to share some of those?
No.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Wasn't prepared for that question.
Of course. No, number one is exercise. These days when people are, maybe unemployed, have a little bit more free time on your hands, get out and use that time effectively. At least 150 minutes per week of moderate exercise would be the recommendation. It's about 30 minutes, 5 days a week.
And moderate, what would be a good indicator that somebody's exercising at a moderate level?
If you're on a brisk walk and you can't hold quite a full conversation, you have to take a breath every now and then. You can speak, you can communicate.
You don't have to be miserable.
But you can't sing during it, probably.
Sure.
Okay. You're not going to be singing real well.
Yep.
So that'd be a good indicator. Is if you can still sing and you're doing whatever you're doing, it means you're probably not quite exercising hard enough.
Got it.
But exercise is key. And really getting out of bed and just getting moving right away for the day, just to get that blood flowing through your system is important too. And if you're sitting all day, if the keyboard riders, definitely standing up and taking little breaks and that kind of stuff. People who are working at home, seen a ton of people because of their work setups. So ergonomics is going to be a big deal. Crash course in ergonomics. We got time for a crash course?
We got time,
All right.
yeah.
So you want to get the monitor. So you have a monitor. Ideally, you're not using the laptop. So get your monitor about forehead level. So it should be about that level as you're sitting upright, good posture, right? Like we all do.
Yeah.
And then your shoulders should be relaxed. And then you want this angle here to be just slightly more than a 90 when you're sitting there on your keyboard. And your mouse, ideally. So you're looking straight ahead. You're just like this, so then you're not getting like this.
Sure.
So that's important. Not that that's necessarily going to boost your immune system. That'll just keep you out of my office and help you feel better, hopefully.
Sure.
Number 2, back to the exercise thing, that's such an important one. Do something that you like to do is the biggest thing. Is what we do is see people trying to do these things that just don't fit. It's like putting a square peg into a circle, and it doesn't work. So whether it be dancing, biking, jogging, swimming, whatever it is. So find something that you like to do.
So if you don't like to run,
don't run.
Don't run.
No. There's lots of things. CrossFit,
Yes.
there's Pilates, there's yoga, there's all kinds of really great options, even here in Buffalo. So Mediterranean diet is the next thing that's been studied over and over again, and by and large is the diet that seems to help boost your immune system the most and keep you at a healthy status.
Is that like lamb, Greek yogurt, feta cheese, gyros?
Some of that. Some of that.
Explain what's Mediterranean diet?
Well, it's a premise. I mean, for someone to really get into it, we won't have enough time on this podcast. But high consumption of fruits and vegetables is the primary. I mean, you look at your plate. At least half your plate should be filled with veggies. Fruits, somewhat, but more veggies really. High consumption of legumes like your beans and that kind of stuff. Seeds, nuts would be like your snacks. Instead of digging out for the Doritos, you grab like a thing of pistachios and snack on them a little bit. The poultry, deep sea fish, using olive oil. There's just
sure.
There's a lot you can do with that. But Google Mediterranean diet, and you will see a whole list of great recipes that you can use that do adhere to that for the most part. But the big thing is taking little snack breaks and using nuts instead of nuts and fruits and veggies as opposed to your potato chips and cheese curds.
Yep.
So don't take this host's advice on their Mediterranean diet.
Right. Yeah.
There are professionals out there that can tell
There
you.
are doctors who. No, and I think that's really interesting, and you hear so much about fat is good, fat is bad, grains are good, grains are bad. Just across the board, and it can be pretty easy to become overwhelmed and almost just, instead of putting your trust in something, just to trust nothing and just say, well, fats are good today, but what are they going to say tomorrow? Is there a particular source or a mentor or something that can apply universally to everybody as far as diet and nutrition, health advice?
So talking to someone that would be a professional, like my wife is a registered dietitian / functional nutritionist / massage therapist / Pilates instructor now, but she's a foodie and she's very good at doing that. I mean, there's a lot of people in that field. Nutritionists are very knowledgeable. It's a huge field. Medical doctors are very knowledgeable. They don't have actually that extensive nutrition training in their medical school. So, I mean, and I don't think that they really have time to speak with people about that. So, I mean, talking to somebody like that you can find that you trust would be important, I think. But really fats are good. Most fats are good. And if you just take the premise that that there's good fats out there, like avocados, peanut butter, and the peanuts are, I mean, this is good stuff. This is really important stuff for a lot of people, and people are deficient in fats that just eliminate it. And people that have too much fat are sometimes too fat. So, I mean, there is that out there where, it's going to be an individualistic type of deal. But
so getting together with somebody who can understand maybe underlying issues or your lifestyle and just working together, put a game plan together that is going to work for, obviously somebody with a high active lifestyle is probably going to have different nutritional
maybe
needs.
on a little bit more proteins.
Yeah.
There's going to be a little something different there. But generally speaking, real food is important. Talking about not the boxed foods. If it's in a box, if it's in the center of the grocery store, it's probably not that great for you. You walk the perimeter, that's generally going to be the food that's better for you, the stuff that grows in the ground or things that walk around.
Not to make light of the coronavirus or COVID or anything like that, but my favorite meme throughout this whole thing, when remember the grocery store was completely empty? It was, if anybody's wondering what healthy food is, it's whatever's left at the grocery store now. and that was like way back in March. And I thought, well, that makes sense. It was
ate all the pasta.
Everything was gone. Macaroni and cheese is gone. Frozen pizza's gone. But whatever was left there. So,
we never had any issue shopping there. I don't think so. Never ran out of the food that we get. But moving on here to more dietary things and immune system boosters is excessive salt. Big problem in the U.S. and really across the world. But we should only be having 1 teaspoon of salt per day total. That's like breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, all that stuff. So one teaspoon is not very much. So processed foods are rich in it. The canned meats and that kind of stuff are going to be rich in that. So just read the labels a little bit and try to keep the under about 500 grams or so would be ideal for salt. That's also been shown to really greatly affect respiratory illnesses too. So so salty is something to avoid for the most part. But other ideas as far as immune system goes would be hydrating. Most of us are not drinking enough water, which you guys got me a nice bottle here. So, rough measurement, there's not a whole lot of science behind this, but you take your body weight, cut that in half, and that's about how many fluid ounces of water you should be drinking per day, barring any kidney or heart conditions that your doctor says you need to limit that. But that's rough. So if you're 200 pounds, you should drink about 100 fluid ounces of water a day, which is a lot.
I feel like if you weren't a doctor, we would have to say consult your physician, but he's a doctor. So you can say this stuff and we don't have to do the, we don't have a law background. We don't need to check with our lawyers, right? He's a doctor, folks. Keep listening to him.
The water is the biggest thing, and most people that I see in the office are inflamed. Best way to put out a fire is to splash some water on it, right? So just drink a lot of water. It does lower the inflammation level in your body, which is going to boost your immune system and makes you feel better. You might have to pee a couple more times.
Right.
So, vitamin supplements haven't been shown to help a whole lot as far as the science goes. My wife may say differently. There is definitely some people that need that. Vitamin D, however, is one that's been proven time and again, especially with the common cold, actually, they found that vitamin D has helped reduce the rate and number of symptoms that they have.
Sure.
And cold, things that they have throughout the year. And then it's also been helping, we'll move on from that one. So vitamin D is good.
Yep.
And then stop smoking. Basically, that is going to help prevent and boost your immune system.
Shock.
Yeah.
That's a shock.
Weird, huh? So that's what we've been sharing with our patients at the office. Anyhow, those 7 things, and bit by bit.
Yep.
So,
and I think too, and not to discredit you by any means, but none of this is breaking news.
No,
this is the stuff that is going to be true 50 years from now.
Yeah, this has been scientifically basically proven. To be effective ways to boost your immune system. I don't think you'll find anybody in the world that would argue with any of this.
Right.
And I'd be willing to have that debate.
Yeah. Exercise.
Line them up, people. Let's see this.
Yeah. Right.
Good thing it's not a call-in.
Yeah. Right. So you mentioned your wife Missy works with you. So you can go get chiropractic care at Buffalo Chiropractic. You can also
we have massage therapy. We did. We will again soon, but that's been cut down here with the COVID.
Oh, sure.
So we do have massage therapists. We have Michelle Ellison. She comes in. She's a personal trainer, and what I do is I create exercises for people to do, and then she will walk them through it, make sure that they're doing everything perfectly. It's when you're talking core and you're talking spinal type rehabilitation, it takes a lot of little muscles that we need to get activated. So having that person there to instruct really helps people learn what they need to do outside of the office to stay out of the office, basically. So, and then nutrition, and that's what we have at the office. So,
can you see people now? I mean, with this shutdown, or is it in a limited capacity, or?
It's limited where I can't see as many people. We're spacing them out. We've added barriers. We have temperatures taken every patient, screening methods, sanitizing every surface touched by every patient. So it's a lot of cleaning. I actually had to hire another person just to kind of keep up with all of the cleaning. So, but no, business is still open. We're there for you. We've been essential the whole time. We never did close down. But it's just been a little bit slower because we haven't been really recommending you come in for wellness or come in for things that you don't really need to come in for.
Yeah.
It's if you're going to be going to the ER or somewhere else. But now we're open for business and happy to help anyone that needs it.
Yep.
And we are following all the CDC recommendations and wearing masks and such. But what we don't require it of our patients yet. And but some have been wearing them still. So. Interesting times we live in these days, huh?
Very.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Tom Kuzma, the chiropractor, Tom Kuzma, the guy. Tell us a little bit about just your recreation and your family and your life a little bit.
I have a lot of recreation. I like to do too many things. I was just talking to my son about that. Find a couple of things that you like to do, but I have too many. There's not enough time, even with no sports. But I have a wife, obviously, and 3 kids. My son is 12 and daughter's 10, and then I got another daughter who's 6. So got a 6th grader, 4th grader, and kindergarten. So that keeps me pretty busy. But I enjoy fishing, hunting, outdoors, basically anything outdoors. A couple years back, I got into the kiteboarding.
Okay.
That's been a ball. That's you've probably seen a few of us out on Buffalo Lake or Pulaski in the wintertime anyhow. That's where you strap a kite onto your waist and then you put a snowboard on or a wakeboard on and you let the wind carry you around the lake. It's fantastic.
No boat required.
No boat required. Wow. It's a neat feeling to just go out there and cruising.
Any close calls with that of, oh man, that's a big gust of wind and...
Yeah, a couple of them last year. Out on Pulaski, and there's a wind tunnel that you wouldn't believe right there. But you go, and then it catches you, and then I thought I was going to get washed up on shore, but luckily I held on just long enough there. But so I mean, I haven't had any injuries yet. I haven't. We got to knock on something. And then, but other than that, I like what else? Basically, kids and outdoors. Yep. The kites is kind of the new joy. Yeah.
I've seen the kite. I mean, can you disconnect from those? I mean, if things get too bad, can you
Can
you cut loose and just
There are safety features.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I had a close call in Mexico. Last year we were in Mexico, and I thought it'd be cool and bring all my stuff down there and just set up on the beach. And I'm a rookie at this, really. I mean, I'm not very good. I'm not those guys that just see on YouTube.
Yeah, right.
If I can get up and if I can go side to side, we're happy. But the launching is the tricky part. So, and we were in Mexico, big buildings in front of us. Seemed like a good wind coming in, so it seemed like it should be good. I blow up the kite, start going out, and then all of a sudden my lines are crossed, so I hooked it up wrong. Rookie mistake. So I'm out there like, gosh, I think I might be able to get this figured out, but I couldn't get it figured out. And now the wind's catching me, and now I sense that it's a wind it's a land wind that's going to blow me out to sea. So
wow.
I ended up having to flag down Rodrigo there on the beach, and he came and got me on his jet ski and had a little
and laughed at you.
Oh gosh, yeah. It was a close call, but
You're either going to end up in Cuba or Texas.
Yeah.
And my wife, of course, I'm like, honey, you go get a massage. I'm just going to go kiteboard for a little bit.
Oh, sure.
She's nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm out there. So luckily there was a kind gentleman on the beach that saved me on his wave runner. But
That's great.
yeah, that's been fun.
He's telling his buddies, this happens once a week.
Yeah.
This isn't news to us. These guys come down here kiteboarding.
Yeah, probably. It is kind of a newer sport, but it is fun.
Cool.
So you've had a career of chiropractic business owner as well, because you're not just doing chiropractic, you own the businesses. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received? It does not have to be business related, but best piece of advice you've ever received.
You know, the one that I use a lot is never sit down and put your socks on. So every morning, stand on one leg, gets your balance done every day. So
There you go.
It actually helps, and the balance improves with that, and you'll notice it after just a week of doing it. So it's one thing I never do is sit down to put my socks on.
Okay.
Kind of a random piece of advice.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah.
Try it.
Every morning I'm going to think of.
Yeah, something that's small, that's manageable, achievable. You got to get your socks on anyhow, right? So,
Nice.
but no, that's a good one. And then there's 100 different business things with my dad, and he's given me so much advice over the years. And I've got different consultants, and Dr. Rita actually is. I use the same consultant that she had there before, so I mean, he's got all kinds of sound advice. It comes at a daily rate these days here with all this COVID crises, but. Just being kind, I think, is the biggest thing. Just do unto others as you want to have done unto yourself. That's the motto we take. Patient needs come first.
Yep.
As long as whatever you're doing there is going to benefit the patient, we're gonna come out all right. So that would be what I would say.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. What I want to hear about this Adopt a Senior program you guys are doing. I haven't heard anything about that yet.
This is not us.
It's not us. We were asked to announce it, though. There's a campaign on Facebook right now.
Who's running that, or who?
Oh,
The high school?
I believe it's a few parents and a few community members. I think they're about 1,200 members strong. But I think you can go on if you click the link. We can't click the link right now.
No.
But you can go and pick your senior. And I've seen gift baskets, gift cards. It doesn't have to be expensive. Just something to make that senior special. What was taken away was their prom, their commencement, those last 2.5 months of friends and camaraderie. So just a little bit to highlight them as well. We don't have much. It was more just, hey, let's bring some attention to it.
I'll just have to click on that link.
Check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure they'd love a massage or something.
Right, yeah, I'm sure who wouldn't, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be open by then.
Yeah.
Cool. That's great, guys.
We a lot of times we do a little bit of a speed round, some rapid fire questions.
Bring it on.
Give us a quick answer that comes to mind.
Sure. Yes, no?
No, not all. No, that's
Not
too
always.
easy. That's too easy.
Right.
But I'm curious. What is your most useless talent?
Accordion.
Really?
I'm not very good at it either, but
No, but that's okay.
I've learned it and it's fun. And it's
Very
useless
cool.
because
Being just okay at the accordion means you're better than 99% of the population.
My father-in-law is from Hibbing, and he gave it to me, so it was his. So it's fun to play with every now and then.
You should Rusty Kath also plays the accordion.
Really?
So, boy,
Jam session. Nice podcast.
I think we need an accordion jam session. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah,
So.
we could poke it up.
That's awesome.
But you answered that as if you knew that question was coming. You didn't.
I didn't know.
Wow.
No, that was pretty quick. I have a lot of useless talents. So.
Yeah, that one stands
But
out.
that's the one that's
Yeah.
in a fight. Who would win, Batman or Superman?
Superman.
I agree.
I'm a Batman guy.
Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah. We could do a whole podcast on that.
That's a debate.
Yeah.
Don't want to get too controversial here.
Yeah.
So technology improves, new crazy things come out. What do you think is the closest thing to real magic that exists?
Holograms?
That's a really good answer.
I think holograms
That is a
are
really
neat.
good answer.
Like they're like doing entire concerts of how like Elvis Presley
Yeah.
concert.
It's neat. It's neat. There's a lot of neat things coming out these days. I mean, just what they can do with the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, how all of these millions of people can be on that at the same
Yeah.
time. It baffles me, but yeah.
In 1999, if people would have said, here's what's going to exist in 2020, our minds would have, I mean, even just down to like the most basic of things, like our Alexas and our Google Assistants and our,
Hologram machines.
we wouldn't have believed it.
3D printers. Those are super neat.
Mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And they're not terribly expensive anymore. Like
No,
you can go get one.
Exactly.
It's not
yeah.
NASA. Interesting. You're coming up with these questions or answers immediately.
Yeah.
I think you're very, very bright.
Well, I don't know about that, but I was just watching something on that SpaceX program too. You guys been
Yeah.
following that at all? They're sending out a couple
It
of
launches tomorrow, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of NASA and SpaceX now are sending humans out into outer space again, and they're working on this gigantic. I think it's called the Falcon Heavy or something like that. But it's going to send a rocket. Basically, they're looking to send commercial ships into outer space to go to Mars. I think that's super neat. That's interesting stuff. But my son and I were watching that. It's on the Disney Plus thing. So if anybody's got that,
Well, it's
you can go to SpaceX.
It's the first crewed space shuttle in like 8 or 9 years or something like that. So they haven't sent people up in 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
This is all news to me.
They got it.
I got some catching up to do on the.
Yeah, check that out though. And the SpaceX thing on Disney came out a lot longer prior to this newer thing that's happening tomorrow. But yeah, they have crazy things happening these days in that world.
Cool.
So may need to move to Mars.
Yeah.
Before you came up here, and I asked Mark, I said, do you consider yourself an 80s kid or a 90s kid?
90s.
90s? Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, you guys graduated together. Mm-hmm. Mark, what did you say?
I said both. Like, I mean, being born in 80, were you born in 80?
Yep.
You know, like, the last half of the 80s, there's some memories there.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, the 90s, you go from being 10 to, like, an adult, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, 90s is probably where a majority of the development and memories came
feel
from.
like that's the music I think about.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Sure.
growing up with, because I didn't listen to a whole lot of like the 80s, like heavy hair band type stuff. I listened to either the 60s and 70s like my dad liked, or I listened to the 90s grunge type Nirvana, Pearl Jam stuff.
Yep.
Great movies though. I mean, the 80s was probably more movies. I could see that. I mean, it depends on what genre or what category we're talking about. So
Very cool. Well, as we're winding down here, do you have a favorite one right off the top of your head? 80s movies?
Rad.
It's pretty good. Well, but I got to go with Star Wars. I mean, we just watched the whole thing start to beginning. We just got this Disney Plus. So the kids and I, the COVID, that's kind of been our series that we did together. So
Sure.
I'd say Return of the Jedi. I mean, it's pretty hard to beat that.
Okay.
I don't know when that came out, though. That could have been 92. That could have been...
I actually think it was in the 70s.
Not Return of the Jedi, though. Maybe that was.
I'm not a Star Wars guy. I don't know.
Well, we're gonna need a
We're
fact
gonna
checker for that.
put it on the screen right now. But as we're winding down here, Tom, thanks for coming in. It was a pleasure to talk with you, learn a little bit more about you, about chiropractic. So for the Buffalo Community Podcast, I'm Tyler Reese,
I'm Mark Benzer.
and we've got Tom Kuzma or Buffalo Chiropractic with us.
Yes.
All
Thank you
right.
guys.
Thank you.
20 minutes.
Look at that.